Hi, hello. Wanted to talk about uncertainty and wanted to talk a lot about what is obviously happening in the Ukraine, which is incredibly unsettling, I think, to the vast majority of people. We're living in an incredibly uncertain world. There's a lot of potential risk of escalation. I think everyone's got concerns about what we're seeing over there, but what I do know is that bullies will not prevail, and that's the hope. Anyway, notwithstanding the politics, I wanted to talk a little bit about living with uncertainty, and there's a few conclusions from my own interpretation of events. And when things move very quickly around you, whether it be some sudden life change or indeed not knowing the outcome of an illness and a diagnosis, maybe it's a situation at work, a situation in a relationship. When people are naturally in the grey or in the maybe, I think it naturally triggers a lot of anxiety. It certainly does in me, and a lot of what if this, worst case scenario, doom mongering this, and it's a very natural thing, and I felt it myself very hard yesterday, and had a really tough day actually. I wanted to reach for a drink last night and didn't. I woke up this morning feeling a lot more positive about things. But what I wanted to say about the thoughts behind that is that a lot of people, I think, have the opportunity every day to look after their health. Also have the opportunity every day to be kind and loving and build relationships and do things that they are passionate about, and plan trips and live their life in a way that's meaningful to them, but yet they choose not to. But when something like an illness or a threat of war, or when your life and your safety feels threatened, a lot of people naturally panic and become incredibly worrisome. And I think the first conclusion for that is, why are people waiting to do those things until there's an event, an external event? You can control, don't wait until it's too late to make those changes. Do them every day, whether it's health or relationships or planning trips, working for yourself, whatever it means to be, helping more people. The other point I think with living in the maybe is that you can't change any of that. So the question is, how do you overcome the anxiety of living in the maybe, being in the grey? What can you do about it? And I think for me, the advice, suggestions I would give is that I spent most of yesterday from about 3 o'clock boring my friends, leaving them voice messages, expressing my anxieties, my concerns, I was overwhelmed with feelings, also got a lot on at work and some other personal things, and I was just becoming overwhelmed. And in that sense of overwhelm, whether it's concerns about that, concerns about some personal stuff, concerns about etc., often what happens is the sheer weight of issues, the sheer weight, work, the sheer weight of things causes the emotional side of your brain to start shutting down in some respects, and that can be quite frenetic. So what did I do? I went for a walk, stayed hydrated, but mostly I expressed, this is the key thing, I expressed to people that I trust that I'm feeling overwhelmed. And by the time I got to bed, not only was I exhausted, I told people that I needed to tell how I felt. I told people who I needed to tell that I love them, and I prayed a little bit. I don't know who to, but I prayed, and I woke up this morning and a number of things had corrected themselves. Now, it doesn't remove the risk of what might happen in the Ukraine. Nothing's changed overnight. The concerns are still very real. It doesn't actually change anything from yesterday. It's still the same today. I've had a conversation with somebody at work that needed to happen, and I feel a lot lighter, because ultimately, say the things, this is the key thing, leave nothing important unsaid. say the things that you need to say when you can to unburden yourself. And that is the best way to reduce, you're not going to remove it, but to reduce worry and anxiety, because often these things don't materialize. And I find that my anxiety increases the more I keep things within inside me. If I need to speak to my boss, if I need to speak to my business partners, if I need to speak to somebody, a friendship, that is the key to it for me. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. God bless Ukraine. Let's pray for a peaceful outcome for all those poor people over there. And if any of this is helpful, please leave a comment, share, and ultimately stay positive.